Hello everyone, my name is Cap and welcome back to the channel. Another 7 Days to Die video. We're back in Alpha 19 doing some more testing of in-game mechanics, and today we're going to be looking at player fall damage and to see what kind of things changed in Alpha 19. Now we are doing this in experimental build just in case they change something when things go stable, but I think one of the best things we can do to test things is to drive our motorcycle off the Navezgane Tower. But first, before we get into the cool stuff, we have to test the base level mechanics of how the fall damage works just to see what does and doesn't work. Now, I have Miss Sylvia here to show you an example. I'm not going to retest the zombies, and the reason why is because they didn't change anything about how zombie fall damage works. They did put in a new animation, so sometimes the zombies will fall and stumble and ragdoll like that, but still, the most amount of damage that a zombie can take, regardless of how high they fall, is still 33% of their maximum damage. So it doesn't matter if they stumble and fall off the front porch of a house, or if you fling them off the Navezgane Tower, they're never going to take more than 33% of their max damage. So I'm not going to bother retesting those. The cool new stumbling mechanics is fun, and watching them face plant is definitely enjoyable, but no reason to retest that. So what I did here is I set up a tower, got a block every 5 here just so I can kind of see where it's at. We need to figure out about where it is for you as a player that you can fall before you start taking sprains, start taking breaks. And that's going to be real key before we get into anything else. Now, I didn't put any skill points into parkour. Everything is by default here. This is the skill that allows you to reduce the amount of damage you take from falling. So this what we're going to get is a base level. What I have is the new Oh Shits Drops candy. And this supposedly reduces fall damage by 100%. So we're going to test out to see how well it works. Now, the reason you saw me drive a motorcycle off Navezgane Tower, besides it's freaking cool, is because I want to see is if I'm using this candy to reduce my fall damage and I drive off in a vehicle, A, will it still work and keep me from taking any damage, and B, will it stop the vehicle from taking any damage? I'm not going to imagine it does, but these are the kinds of things that I'm supposed to test out. So let's get right into it and see where we start taking some breaks. First off, we're just going to start off at 5 blocks. Walk off. Okay, 5 attempts at 5 blocks up, and we didn't take any damage, didn't take any breaks, so you're okay from 5 blocks up. Next up, we're going to go up to 10 blocks and see how well this one works out. Okay, first drop on 10 blocks, we took some damage. I'm going to go ahead, I'm using God mode every time just to reset the stats. That way, any kind of damage I take is only based on the one fall, not on anything on the previous fall. It's the reason why I'm testing it with God mode. So walk off again. Alright. So, 10 blocks up, somewhere between 5 and 10 blocks, we got our first sprain. So that's definitely good. At least we know it's somewhere between 5 and 10 blocks. I'll try and narrow it down just a little bit better too. Alright, 7 blocks up is when I'm starting to take damage. 6 blocks, I took none, ran off there several times, didn't take anything. 7 blocks up, I only took 5 damage, but it seems like 7 blocks, or I guess 7 meters, is about the spot and when you're going to start taking damage. I haven't seen any sprains from that spot yet, so we're going to continue to go up to see if it's any better or any different at 8 blocks up. Alright, 8 blocks is where I got the first sprain. So somewhere between 7 and 8 blocks, is probably not an exact science, is when you're going to start getting some sprained legs. So now let's figure out how high we can be up to get a broken leg. Alright, 10 blocks up. First attempt, we broke our leg on the first try. So we managed to only get a sprain at 8 blocks, but we got a break at 10 blocks. So we're going to try it up here at 9 just to see if, perchance, this will work and do the same. So 9 blocks up, see what happens. Okay, took some damage but didn't actually break anything. We'll try it again. 9 blocks up. Okay, we got a sprain from there. I'll test it one more time just for full due diligence. Okay, so we got a break. So it's about 7 blocks for a sprain, 8 to 9 blocks for a break. There's not much difference in those, but if you're jumping off this, you're pretty much bailing off a 2-story house. Alright, so we know somewhere around there between 7 and 8 blocks is where you're going to start taking a lot of damage, is where you're going to get the major debuffs. So, jumping from somewhere up here around 20 blocks, let's just see how bad it gets from here. This shouldn't kill us. Okay, we lost half our life. We definitely broke the hell out of our leg. Our spine's a little bit shorter than it originally was. No big deal, just testing it for fun. Now what we need to do is we're going to take an Oh Shits drop. We took one. It's got a 5-minute duration, fall damage, minus 100%. So, we should be able to bail off here and take 0 damage. Nice, that worked. Alright, now let's test out the extremes here. Alright, so we're 200 blocks above the ground. This is higher than you can even build. There's nothing around here that's as tall as this. About 192 blocks is as high as you can build. We do have our candy going, I do believe. I'm going to go ahead and eat one more just in case. I don't see the little icon over there to make sure. Alright, let's bail and see what happens. Sweet! 200 plus blocks up, the candy saved us. 0 damage taken on the fall damage when you do have the oh shits drops. So, if you're looking to be bailing off tall towers, come in from the atmosphere, or fly off a building, I would definitely recommend eating some candy. Alrighty, we are back on Deshang Tower, and we're going to test out how much damage you can take. Bicycle is fully healed. I'm fully healed. We have no candy or anything on us. I want to kind of get a baseline to see how terrible of an idea this is. Let's get to it. Oh, going for distance. That was a pretty sweet bounce. Alright, vehicle took 13% damage to it. It should have completely exploded, but I'm glad it didn't. We took 3/4 of our life in damage. That's not too good. So we're going to get back up the reset and take some candy and see how well it works this time. Okay, back up at the top here, we've got our candy ingested, so we've got some fall damage prevention, we got a brand new motorcycle. Going to bail on this one and see if it prevents us and the bike from taking any damage. And do the same thing we did last time, just go for some distance, see if we can get a nice good bounce. Interesting, okay. The vehicle didn't take nearly as much damage, and we didn't take as much damage, but we still took some. With that candy, it didn't make us take 0 fall damage. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to test it again. We got to make sure we do it at least twice when we have results that are inconsistent. Okay, time to try it again. We got our health back up, we got our candy going on here, and we got a brand new bike. So let's test this out one more time and see what kind of results we get the second time. See if the candy will actually prevent us from taking any major damage or keep the bike from taking any damage. Not at all. Okay. Bike took as much damage as it did the first time, and I took a decent chunk of damage. So there you have it. The oh shits drops candy will only stop you from taking damage if you go free falling on your own. It's not going to help you at all if you decide to do something stupid and drive a motorcycle off the tallest building in the game. Food for thought, the more you know. So there you have it. The drops do protect you. 7 blocks up is when you get a sprain, 8 blocks is when you get a break. The candy will stop you from taking any kind of damage unless you're on a vehicle. If you're not, you can go all Spring Heel Jack and jump off whatever you want to, and you're good to go for a good 5-minute stretch. So the candy does actually work. Just don't do anything crazy and drive a motorcycle off a building. If you enjoyed the video or you found anything useful, do me a favor and leave it a like on the video. And if you have any questions or comments, you know where to leave those down below. And make sure you're subscribed if you're not already so you don't miss out on future videos. In the meantime, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later.